coming up next, she's the owner of Oakland's shop known as Ooh La La. She's made a great impression on MSNBC's Elevator Pitch, and we'll meet her when Bay Area Vista continues. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Bay Area Vista. I'm Janice Edwards. Tracy Friley had found great success as the #1 account executive at a publishing company, but she was looking for a way to make a bigger contribution. Now she says she's found it as the creator of OneBrownGirl.com, which began with the launch of t-shirts and is now becoming a social movement. Earlier this year, Tracy won Black Enterprise Magazine's Elevator Pitch competition. Welcome to you, Tracy. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you here. Brown Girls Rock, one of the many shirts that you've created. And as I said, as you have sold these, people have talked about how it's made them feel great. You have different ones from Blessed Brown Girl, Smart Brown Girl, different ones. And you said that for you, this was something that is to promote inclusivity as opposed to making people who may not be a brown girl feel excluded.
Right. Culture is fascinating. Let me start by saying that. And as you know, socioeconomically, and as it relates to skin color as well, people of color have been oppressed all over the world. And so, as a result of, knowing my history and wanting to kind of show the similarities between culture, this brand was born. So it's not meant to exclude anyone. It's actually a way to get everyone in on what I think is fascinating and interesting.
Right, and one of the things that you're doing is on OneBrownGirl.com, you have people from all over the world writing about cultural things. A woman who was moving to India wanted to know about that. Someone else who didn't know about quinceañeras, the celebration of becoming 15 in Latin culture that's so popular, asked you questions there. So you're really having people come to you and coming together from all sorts of cultures.
Right, and I don't want to be known as the expert. What's happening, which is fantastic, is I'm starting to collaborate with other brown girl cultures. I have Deepa is my newest collaboration and collaborative effort. She is going to be starting a website called the Brown Girl Guide, and she is of South Asian Indian descent. And so what's nice is that the answers now on the Ask One Brown Girl column are going to come from someone besides myself, right, who have direct information about their own culture.
Yes. Now I mentioned the elevator pitch, and
yes,
we have a clip from the MSNBC website when you did that. So you won for Black Enterprises, and that prize was to go to New York to pitch in an elevator. So they have the two hosts. You step in. We'll take a look at some of that, and then I'll ask you more about it.
I'm Tracy Friley. I'm the founder of OneBrownGirl.com. One Brown Girl celebrates culture, diversity, and strong self-image amongst brown girls across the globe. The brand was started primarily because historically brown girls all over the world, whether they're Native American, African, African American, Polynesian, Filipina, no matter what they are and no matter what age they are, have been oppressed historically. And it's really critical that they feel good about the skin that they're in and move forward in life empowered and enlightened. The brand primarily was put together to educate everyone. This is not meant to exclude anyone. It's absolutely a feel-good brand, and it's a movement. The t-shirts are just one way to get the brand message across.
So how was that for you, doing that?
Oh, that was pretty nerve-wracking. This brand isn't about me. This brand is about One Brown Girl, and One Brown Girl is everyone. So I had challenges initially, even when I went to pitch at the contest, because I didn't want anyone to look at me and decide this is only for someone that looks like me. But what I realized is that in order for the brand message to get out, no one is going to speak better to it than the person who created it. And so I've kind of had to
put yourself out, get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah,
do that.
Take a deep breath.
The prize would have been $250,000. Unfortunately, they didn't. They didn't. You didn't get that prize, but the exposure is continuing to build, and you're going to stay with us because we're going to talk a little bit more later in the show.
Yes. Thank you.
But if you'd like to contact Tracy, here's how to do so. The shop is Ooh La La in Oakland, and OneBrownGirl.com is where to get connected. Coming up next, Bob Coomber is determined to scale the world's largest mountain in a wheelchair. And later in our show, all three of our guests look toward the coming year. We'll be back with more Bay Area Vista. Stay with us. Welcome back to Bay Area Vista. I'm Janice Edwards. Our innovators from our previous segments are all with us. Eric Drew, who successfully battled leukemia and identity theft, who is now cancer-free, founder of the Eric Drew Foundation. Tracy Friley, visionary, business owner, the winner of the Black Enterprise Elevator Pitch for OneBrownGirl.com. And of course, Bob Coomber, who is Assistant Vice President of Collections at a bank and a wheelchair hiker who's conquered most of the Bay Area trails. So you know what I was thinking about before we left today? All of you have faced times when you heard some news that could have broken you. Tracy, we didn't talk about it in your segment, but at one point you were diagnosed with an autoimmune disease and it changed your whole life. So I'm wondering, and Eric, maybe I'll start with you. Was there ever one thing that you heard that you thought would break you, and what was it that kept you going? Or who was it in your life who encouraged you to keep going?
You know, I'll tell you, when Stanford Medical Center came to me and said that there's really nothing else that we can do for you, you know, and they're supposed to be one of the top cancer hospitals in the world, that was tough. I really had a hard time with that. I was angry and bitter, and it was really just the collective energy and effort of all the people that were now helping me start the foundation, the other patients that I was helping, just to draw on the energy from all those people that were praying for me and sending me their thoughts and their energy. That's really what pulled me through. And no matter what, no matter how bad things got for me, if I could hang on just for another minute or push that extra step to try to survive this thing or survive even any longer, that's what I would do. So,
Tracy, what about you?
I think that when I was in the hospital, because the autoimmune disease that I was diagnosed with is so rare, it took my doctors a week or so to figure out what was going on with me, because they thought it was one thing and ended up being something else. After a biopsy they found out. So I think that was probably the hardest part for me. But I think one of the things that all of us have in common, and it may be a personality trait, is that it doesn't ever break you. It just propels you forward. It never breaks you.
Yeah. Bob, what about you?
Diabetes carries with it a ton of complications or potential complications. I've managed to quit worrying about them long ago and deal with them as they occur, as they have with my eyes and the osteoporosis in my legs, which caused my legs to break. For me, the chair was a blessing. It was actually, it brought me to a point where I had to improve a lot of different kinds of skills and realize that if I wanted to make something out of this life, I was going to have to use it and to continue doing what I wanted to. So I just keep pushing forward is kind of my motto. Just keep it going.
It reminds me of my mom gave me a poster with a frog inside of a pelican's beak, and the hands are on the pelican's neck saying, "Never give up." We are almost out of time.
Right.
One word of inspiration you can provide for anyone?
Make no excuses.
No excuses. Tracy?
Focus.
Focus?
there's always hope. Keep moving forward.
Excellent. You guys are an inspiration. Thank you so much for all that you've done and continued success with what you're doing going forward.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Janice.
And we want to thank you for joining us. I want to remind you that in January we are going to be on at